Hey there, welcome to the parking lot of the garden center. Today we are doing a super fun project. So I have a hay rack window box. I planted up a couple of them, one with all dwarf tomatoes, one with all flowers, and I have a third one on my patio, and I was trying to decide what to do with it. And then I thought it would be such a fun project to do with you all and to share. If you have just a patio or a balcony or just don't want to have a huge garden, you can have an entire vegetable and flower garden in a window box, and I'm going to take you along for this whole process. So I'm at a different garden center than I usually go to, and we're gonna see what they've got. Hopefully they have everything that I want here. If not, this video may go over a couple days, but let's go get some food, some flowers, and yeah, make an entire garden in one little window box. All right, we're gonna go look for some plants. That isn't the perfect way to fill up a seat in the car. I had good luck and I got quite a few things, and I will take these home and then give you the full update of everything we got, but some really fun stuff. I think this container is going to turn out really nice. Welcome back to the garden. Okay, so it is the next day. I got the window box all planted up, and I wanted to talk through it with you, all the things that I planted, my thoughts on why I picked the specific varieties that I did. I'm really excited about this container. I think it's gonna be really fun and super fun to watch as it continues to kind of keep growing over the next, few months. So let me turn the camera around and show you the window box. I did plant it down here in the garden, but it's actually going to go upstairs on my upstairs patio. That's where it's going to be living, right outside my kitchen doors, which will be perfect. But for now, I just wanted to plant it down here, and I'll show you everything that's in it. I have all my plant tags so I can remember, but here is the window box. This is a little bit of compost that I harvested over here, but here is our beautiful window box. I think it looks so fun. I went for a pretty orderly sort of like mirroring things on either side, and right in the middle I put a pepper plant. So we've got peppers, tomatoes, cucumbers, some herbs, and some flowers, and some strawberries. So a full little garden all in one window box. Now, before I show you everything, is it packed very full? Yes, this is a very densely planted container, but I will be staying on top of water, and I will be staying on top of a organic liquid fertilizer throughout the season. That way the plants are able to have enough nutrients to keep growing, and I'll be doing some pruning and kind of maintenance on it, which I will share with you as we go on through the season with this container. I'll definitely keep you updated on how it grows and how I'm taking care of it and the whole setup. So let's see what we planted. I started on each corner with a strawberry. This is a ever-bearing strawberry. I selected the ever-bearing because it will continue to produce fruit throughout the season. So you can get the June-bearing strawberries, which will only produce strawberries in June, just like one flush. But anything that's ever-bearing is going to produce all the way through the season. So since this is our, little garden container, I figured we want as many strawberries as possible kind of throughout the season. We just have the 2 plants. So to be able to come out here and get a couple little strawberry snacks throughout the season, I thought would be super fun. So we got this ever-bearing variety. It was just kind of a basic, variety. Sometimes there's more descriptions and more different kinds, but this is just classic, ever-bearing. Looks delicious though. I think that'll be great. And I put one on each end so it'll kind of spill over on each side. And then next to the strawberries, I wanted to add a little bit of flowers. So I found this cute little petunia. This is a picote blue, which matches the hanging baskets that I have up on the patio. So it's got the purple with the white trim. On the patio right now, we've got a bit of a red, white, and blue theme with a lot of purples and whites and reds. So I thought that that would be just really pretty. And petunias do pretty well in container situations. This is not any kind of like a special, super petunia or anything fancy, but it'll do well in a container, and I can kind of also keep on top of pruning it as I need to around the other plants, because petunias respond very well to pruning. You actually kind of want to stay on top of their shape throughout the season, so that'll be perfect for in this like densely packed container. And I did the same thing on each side, so strawberry petunia, and then I threw in some herbs. So I found this really pretty variegated basil. I think, let me find the tag for this guy. I think it's just, let's see, variegated basil pesto Patio. Sounds good. I've never grown this before, but it should be yeah, it should be really a nice kind of basil, and it's just so pretty because it's a little bit different. There's a lot of green leaves in this container, so the variegated color will add just a little bit of dimension. You can prune this basil for pesto or to throw in any kind of dishes. It's always good to have some herbs in your garden someplace, so I thought that that would be pretty. And yeah, just the variegated because it's a little bit different, something interesting to look at. And then on this side I did a oregano, and this is just a classic hot and spicy oregano. I did put the oregano toward the front because that's going to spill and fall over. Oregano tends to kind of creep, whereas the tomatoes are going to mound, but I did put the basil behind the tomato on this side because the basil is going to get pretty tall. So the oregano is going to creep out over the side, and the basil is going to really fill in this tall space. Then I put in 2 tomatoes, as you can see, and I just found a better bush. So when it comes to like the tomato plants, any kind of like traditional vegetable plant, in a container, anything that says bush is a good kind of plant, because typically that'll be a container variety or some kind of other container variety. Dwarf determinate is going to be a good choice for a container. So the better bush, I didn't really have a lot of options when it came to smaller tomato plants. Most of them were the traditional indeterminate tomatoes that get really huge, but the bush, it is a compact plant, grows all season. It's going to be 24 to 36 inches, so it's going to kind of ramble and spill, but I can trim it as well. You can trim these tomatoes. I actually got a 6-pack of these. It was the only way I could find them, so I'm gonna have to find some other places for some small tomatoes, but looks like a really nice kind of like full size, you know, nice little slicer tomato. And yeah, I put one of them in the front of the container. It's gonna really spill out, and I'm just gonna let it kind of ramble and spill, and same with this, ramble and spill around, and we can trim it as we need to, but I think it'll be just fine. And then I went ahead and put in some cucumbers. Let me see where I've got all of my tags right here. I'm trying to find the cucumber tag. Again, this was a bush chop, and I picked it because it said it was bush. So it's gonna be a smaller vine of cucumbers, and it's gonna spill out the front of the container. Hopefully be, you know, cucumber vines can get really, really long. So these will hopefully stay shorter. And I put them in the front. Now, if I was starting all of these plants from seed, then I absolutely would have been more picky about which particular variety. Just going into the garden center, looking for some plants to put in a container like this, kind of trying to mimic the process of if you just decided to make this container as well. Looking for a bush variety like that, again, it's just going to be a little bit smaller, more compact, less crazy vines, and for a container, it's gonna be a better selection. So I thought, you know, good to get some cucumbers in here. Love to have a cucumber in the garden. Nothing like a summer garden without some fresh cucumbers or some refrigerator pickles or something like that. I know nothing about this. This tag says nothing, but I know because it says bush that it's gonna be a smaller stature. And it says it matures in 55 days and 8-inch size fruit. So that should be perfect for pickles or anything like that. Then the last plant I put, oh wait, no, there's 2 more big plants and some marigolds. I did find these disco yellow marigolds. They're disco yellow. So marigolds are kind of a classic garden staple. They tend to repel pests, people say. I just thought to add a little bit more color to this box, and that the yellow would look really pretty with the purple. And yeah, just fill in sort of the beauty in the container that the marigolds would be nice. And these are just a really pretty little style, kind of looks like almost like a daisy, which I kind of like this look in a marigold. So I put 2 in here, and then I put in a pepper. Now, this is not a bush style or a dwarf style pepper. This is a California Wonder Green. I did pick a green pepper because I know my daughter is going to want to harvest these. She's going to see them up on the patio and she's going to be interested in eating whatever grows in this container, and I didn't want to do a spicy pepper that she wouldn't be able to eat. This is a bit of an experiment. To find like a snack bell pepper or one of those like lunchbox peppers that stay in a more compact plant and that produce little snacky peppers, that would have been ideal. This is a full-size pepper and it's gonna grow big bell peppers. I don't know how it's gonna do in a container setup. I have been really impressed with peppers growing in containers. I've had really good luck with it. Typically I do try to do like a snack pepper or even like a jalapeno, not the big bell peppers, because they take a bit of time. I feel like their roots need more space. This is a very small planting reservoir, so this whole window box is 36-inch window box, and actually the hay rack insert that I found is a little small for it, so it's probably more like 32 inches when you actually, the actual insert that I got this year, I just didn't have time and I didn't order like a full 36-inch hay rack insert, which if you're buying these hay racks, definitely look at the 32-inch ones because it's much easier to find an insert. I got like the big 3-foot 36-inch hay racks and it's been harder to find an insert. So with that said, it's a very small space for a full-size pepper. We will see how this goes. I do not necessarily anticipate that I'm going to get full-size fruit or a ton of fruit on it. We'll just see. I'm gonna fertilize as much as I possibly can within the limits of, not burning the plants, to try to help them, because this is just a lot. Yeah, these are a lot of plants in a small space. So we'll see about the pepper. If I'd found like a snack pepper or a snack bell pepper, that would have been a much better selection. They just didn't have one. So I threw in the California plant. In this big full container is this Gretel teardrop eggplant. A super cute little eggplant. These look really fun, and it says it can grow in containers, so I thought that would be nice. And now we've got, really a bunch of produce. If this gets growing, I think it'll do well. Eggplants, again, I have grown super well in containers. Had really good luck with eggplants in containers, so I think that that's going to do well. And because it's a container variety, it should help. So as far as keeping all these plants happy throughout the season, fertilizer is going to be key. I'm going to put in I have like an organic slow release fertilizer. I'm going to throw that in, and then I'm going to put it on it at least weekly, if not 2 or 3 times a week. Kind of like nice light dose of just organic, like a fish fertilizer, just to make sure that everything gets enough food. This is a lot of plants in a super small reservoir, which is hard to deal with if you can't stay on top of fertilizing. But I think with the fertilizing, it should do really well, honestly. And I will, of course, be completely transparent and keep you updated as we go along throughout the season how it does, so you can kind of see and modify if you decide to do something like this. But I just wanted to make this container as an encouragement. If you have a limited garden space, as you can see, my whole garden in general is pretty small. If you have a limited garden space, just a balcony, just a little spot, you can still grow a garden. You can still get kind of all of the garden funness. And just because, you don't necessarily grow enough to, like, I don't know, put up into storage and everything, doesn't mean you can't eat a delicious tomato out of your garden, off your patio, or a cucumber or any of that. It will still be just as fun, and it's super fun to take care of and, mess around and prune. And yeah, it's all just fun, not to mention beautiful, which is why I added in the flowers, because I feel like, as you can see, I like to add flowers into my garden. I feel like every space, it's just, why not have it be beautiful as well as functional? For me, it's just that much more fun. So as I said, I will keep you posted on this container. I'm super excited about it. I had so much fun shopping for it and putting it together. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.